I want to begin by telling you what I need, and then I'll tell you what I want. These two things aren't aligned, but they carry very different understandings between you and I. First, I need you to be healthy. I need you strong, focused, and capable. Your future depends on it. Your family depends on it. And one day, your people will depend on it. Strength isn't optional for a man who intends to carry responsibility. It's the foundation. But what I want? What I want is something deeper. I want you to be healthy in a way many of you have never experienced. Most young men today aren't healthy. They're just not sick yet. And there's a difference. You don't actually know what it feels like to wake up and have your body feel good, almost like a drug. Strong, rested, and alive. You don't know what it's like to open your eyes and your mind is clear, focused, and ready before you've even left the bed. That level of health changes everything, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It makes the day feel conquerable. Most of you have never felt that. The physical, mental, and spiritual poison has been fed to you since birth. This is all you know. You've been kept in a state of suspended animation, surviving, but not thriving. And if you've never known real health, you don't even realize that you're missing it. You think exhaustion is normal. You think brain fog is normal. You think feeling fine is good enough. But it isn't. I've spent most of my adult life in elite athletic shape. I know what real health feels like, what real strength feels like. And I want you to know it too. Not because it makes you look better, not because it impresses anyone, but because that feeling changes the way you carry yourself through the world. It changes who you believe you are and what you can become. You deserve that feeling. You are worth the effort it takes to get there. The modern world has turned even the simplest truths into industries. Fitness, philosophy, nutrition, all sold back to you as branded salvation. They keep you dependent, chasing the next fix, the next secret, the next product. This is not that. This is the unpolished version. What remains when the marketing is stripped away. It isn't complicated, it isn't mystical. It's a foundational pillar of strength. The discipline to fuel your body, focus your mind, and feed your spirit. I know men come here from all levels. Some of you are just beginning, unsure, searching for something real. Others already live this way, disciplined, focused, but looking for confirmation that their instincts are right. Both belong here. If you are new, learn. If you are seasoned, lead. The climb doesn't end, and the measure of a strong man is how many he can pull upward behind him. For our collective purposes, understand this. All organizations are ultimately judged by the excellence they produce, and the war band is no different. We have a duty to our ancestors, to ourselves, and to our brothers to be healthy, capable, and strong. The very virtues so many now lament as missing from the church. And if we fail to live them, then we are no better. Before you stand among men, you must first stand on your own. Brotherhood begins with self-discipline, the daily responsibilities no one can do for you. Feed your body cleanly, train with intent, sharpen your mind and guard your spirit. Only then can you join others as an equal, not as a burden. And before we go any further, you need to understand this. Nutrition isn't just about the food you take in or the calories you count. That's the mistake most men make. Food is only one part of your fuel. Think of your body the way a warrior thinks of his equipment. It's a vehicle for action. Food is gasoline, the daily energy source that keeps the engine running. But gasoline alone doesn't keep the machine alive. Your mind is the oil, the lubricant that prevents friction, overheating, and burnout. And your spirit is everything else. The transmission fluid, the hydraulics, the totality of systems that make movement meaningful rather than chaotic. A vehicle fails when any of these are ignored, and so does a man. If you only focus on protein and calories, you're not practicing nutrition, you're surviving. True nutrition considers all three: the body, the mind, and the spirit. That's the standard here. Online resources about nutrition are a mess. Not because the subject is complicated, but because an entire industry survives by pretending that it is. Everyone needs to sell a product, a supplement, or a new method. The truth is simple. Nutrition isn't rocket science, and it doesn't need to consume your life. I'm going to give you an easy way to manage your nutrition that will serve you well, even if you travel often for work, or work long hours in a modern economy that drains your time. Start by viewing food as fuel. It's not something you do 3 times a day because you're hungry, it's gas in your tank. Your body is the only vehicle you'll ever have, and how you maintain it determines how far you can go. The simplest rule is this: food must be cooked. Food is raw ingredients. If what you're eating already comes cooked, processed, or packaged, it isn't fuel, it's filler. It's slop. Full stop. Your goal with eating is to fuel your activity. If part of your strategy is losing weight, remember, only a calorie output that exceeds your calorie input achieves this. But don't think of it as going without. Think of it as fueling efficiency. Make the mental switch. Food has become a drug. Think of it as you're tuning your engine, not starving it. Hydration and rest matter just as much as food. They're a lubricant that keeps the system running clean. You are to be a warrior, which means you must think like one. Food isn't about joy. It's ammunition in a gun. Every meal is a choice to strengthen or weaken your aim. Your body is a weapon, and what you feed it determines whether it fires true when it matters. In the real world, the world where things actually matter, you need to be healthy for life, not just for a season. Too many men burn themselves out in their 20s chasing short-term glory, trying to look like professional athletes, destroying their joints, chasing attention, or wasting their genetic gifts to impress women who won't matter 5 years later. Most men break themselves young and then pay for it in their 40s and 50s. They trade decades of strength for a few years of ego. We do not accept this. What I'm offering you takes longer, but it lasts. It builds a foundation strong enough to carry you into fatherhood, leadership, and old age. There are no shortcuts. Anything that promises fast results extracts a price later, and that price is always higher than you think. And because this is about long-term strength, I need to be direct about something most men avoid saying. Do not use performance-enhancing drugs, not ever. Not for short-term gains, not to impress strangers, not to chase numbers you'll never be able to maintain. PEDs are shortcuts, and shortcuts steal from the future. They promise strength but deliver dependence. They inflate the body while hollowing the discipline. A man who cheats his training cheats himself. A man who reaches for artificial strength does so because he never built the real kind. And when older men cling to these shortcuts, calling it optimization, or pretending it's just maintenance, all they're really doing is refusing to age into leadership. They're trying to stay 20 forever, privates on the line, instead of maturing into generals who build the next generation. Look around at the men in their 50s who try to keep the mass and size of their 20s. Their oversized bodies, the paper-thin skin, the swollen faces. It isn't strength. It's distortion. There's no difference between a man who refuses to age and a woman who destroys her natural beauty with endless plastic surgery. Both become uncanny, unnatural, and off-putting. A man is not meant to look like an action figure at 50. He is meant to look like a leader, a general, a builder of sons. Chasing youth past its prime isn't strength, it's denial. We must break the cycle. Get healthy, stay healthy. Build strength that lasts. Train slowly, honestly, without shortcuts, and prepare your sons to stand where you once stood. The modern world markets poison as convenience. It sells addiction, not nourishment. Learn to see through it. The same rule applies to what you feed your mind. Just like physical nutrition, your mental nutrition requires a break from what has been normalized by modernity. If processed food is slop, then so is entertainment. What you feed your mind determines how you think, focus, and act. In the little spare time you have, stop seeking entertainment and start studying. Watch documentaries instead of TV shows. Listen to podcasts while driving, cleaning, or running errands. Fill the gaps of your day with something that enriches and builds you. The easiest way to make this shift enjoyable is to study subjects that you actually care about. It doesn't matter if it's ancient history, carpentry, astronomy, or even something as odd as how to carve a walrus from driftwood. If it interests you, pursue it. If you have a question, answer it. The point is to move from passive reception towards active engagement. Curiosity is the fuel of the mind. And read. Not because books are sacred, they most certainly are, but because reading forces your brain to process information differently. It lights up regions of the brain that remain dormant when you're only watching or listening. Think of it as a workout for your mind. Like a muscle, it strengthens through use and atrophies when neglected. The medium doesn't matter as much as the intent. A documentary, a podcast, or a well-written article can all serve as mental nutrition, so long as they're not entertainment or slop, content engineered to addict rather than inform. Consume information that challenges you, not content that numbs you. Avoid short-burst mind rot at all costs. I purposely create videos at a slower pace and with a modulated tone that either break you of your TikTok attention span or filter out the mentally weak altogether. In video games. Video games are designed to feel like participation, but they are not. They simulate achievement, simulate exploration, and simulate victory while keeping you motionless. The time you spend gaming is time you could spend building something real. Learn to recognize the difference between activity and accomplishment. Instead of video games, paint models. Even genres like Warhammer are a legitimate male hobby. Enjoy it, guilt-free. And the same principle extends to the soul. Before we go further, understand this. When I say spiritual, I'm not telling you how to worship, and I'm not asking you to adopt a religion. I'm talking about the part of you that recognizes meaning, depth, and the sacred. Your spiritual life is tied to your cultural inheritance, the beauty that your people created, the stories they preserved, the music that moved them, the art that tried to capture something higher than the flesh. When a piece of art, a symphony, or a film score stirs something in you that isn't entertainment, that is contact with the part of you that reaches upward, that is spiritual nutrition, just as surely as prayer or ritual. It is the cultivation of the inner world that makes outer strength possible. Spiritual nutrition begins with exploration, not of dogma, but of what you believe and why. Examine your faith, your doubts, and the systems that surround them. But it doesn't end there. Your spirit isn't only a religious pursuit. It's everything that forms your inner life. You are part of it. Continuing the theme from mental nutrition, stop entertaining yourself. What you feed your soul matters just as much as what you feed your body and mind. Most of what passes as content today is spiritual junk food. noise, designed to keep you from ever feeling depth. Replace it with art and sound that awaken something real. And pursue what clearly connects you to the divine. You know this feeling, even if you don't have a name for it. When you walk into a gilded Gothic cathedral, the columns rising like forests, the light pouring through stained glass, you can't help but to feel something greater pressing against your chest. The men who built those walls were reaching upward. Their hands were guided by something beyond themselves. In that moment, you are not just admiring architecture. You are standing inside the faith, the discipline, and the genius of your ancestors. You are touching the same current that moved them. And the same is true for those who walk the older path. When you watch a group like Heilung, you can feel the ancient pulse of your people come alive again. The rhythm, the breath, the invocation of something primordial and sacred. That connection isn't entertainment. It's inheritance, it's inspired, and it's real. What you are feeling in those moments, whether through stone, sound, ritual, or art, is the spark of the divine moving through human hands. That is spiritual nutrition, the cultivation of awe, meaning, and identity. Start simple. Don't just listen to slop. Learn to appreciate symphony. They might be uncomfortable at first, especially if you weren't raised with it. That's fine. There are bridges. Movie soundtracks can be an excellent halfway point. Conan the Barbarian, Interstellar, and others like them. They are composed and performed by real human beings for the purpose of evoking emotion, awe, and gravity within the soul. For example, the opening battle from the Gladiator soundtrack. You can hear the story unfold without a single word. The build, the tension, the clash, and the aftermath. It inspires magnitude and purpose. This is what real composition does. It translates struggle and triumph into sound. It teaches you to feel deeply and to listen with intention, not distraction. Do the same with visual art. Learn to see and appreciate beauty. The modern world wages war on beauty, mocking it, cheapening it, and replacing it with irony and filth. Resist that with everything you have. You don't need to become an art critic, but you need to recognize what moves you and why. Being able to articulate what inspires you through image or form is a vital skill. If you need a starting point, look at the works of Frank Frazetta. His Conan paintings capture raw strength, motion, and myth, a gateway between the primal and the refined. They invite mystery and exploration. They show how beauty and power can coexist in classic form. His art doesn't just look impressive, it feels alive. It draws you into the unknown and demands that you confront what moves you. And from there, explore the classics. The goal isn't to compare them, but to understand that beauty takes many forms, and all of them demand reverence and effort to truly see. Spiritual nutrition of this kind is what will pave the way for you to appreciate the sacred in its fullest. Beyond the throwaway statements of words like priceless, and ancient. A man must be able to explain and articulate what is sacred in the same way a father can tell you all the ways he loves his children. It is the same process: understanding, reverence, and expression. This can extend to cinema as well. Real cinema, not disposable entertainment we call movies. Study films that communicate through composition, silence, and character, not endless noise and spectacle. Learn to feel again. Feed your spirit substance, not sedation. Garbage in, garbage out. What you consume physically, mentally, and spiritually becomes who you are. Choose your fuel wisely. If you've made it this far, you already understand what this message is really about. It isn't just food or study or prayer. It's a way of life. Our religion is a state of being. It is the way, the path of kings. We worship the gods by emulating them, and we've been blessed with the blueprints through our mythology, legends, and stories. Thor didn't sit around addicted to porn, wasting away on junk food and video games. He interacted with the world and faced giants. Each layer builds upon the next. The body disciplines the mind steadies the soul, and the soul gives purpose to the body. This is not another system meant to keep you dependent. The world already has enough of those. The purpose of this path is to make you self-sufficient, sovereign, to give you the tools to critically think, act, and live without constant instruction. You're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. And there is no version of this story that doesn't require you to exercise and be strong, and that begins with nutrition in all of its forms. The warrior is sacred, and you must treat yourself as such. You are sacred. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to know how it feels to be strong. You deserve it. My goal here on social media is to work myself out of a job. If I've done my part well, you won't need me forever. You'll build your own rhythm, your own code, your own standard. You'll stop consuming advice and start embodying it. Then we can be peers. But understand this: the agency, the sovereignty we seek cannot be given. It must be developed. It must be earned. Before you're ready for the warband, you must first master yourself. This path begins with small, unglamorous actions: eating clean, training consistently, thinking clearly, speaking truthfully. No one can do those for you. The upcoming kingdom will be built by men who actually do the work, not by men who feel like they have. As I've said, I'll meet you halfway, but I will not dwell at the base of the mountain with you. You have to climb. You have to ascend Olympus, become worthy of Valhalla. You have to live what you've learned. Because this is not about belonging to a brand. It's about belonging to yourself. So learn, build, and lead by example. And when you find your footing, reach back and help the next man climb. That's how the line continues. That is what it means to be Helios. Until next time.